Hello and welcome to live match reaction here on the Rangers Rabble. My name's Martin Douglas and tonight I am joined by Scott, Greg and Wilf. Gentlemen, hello. Obviously, we're here to react to tonight's game in the Europa League against Benfica. A 2-2 draw was looking very positive at 2-0, but yet again, Benfica come back into it with two latest goals. Scott, what did you make of the 90 minutes overall?
I thought we were good out of possession, bit disjointed in possession, but I think that comes with the territory of playing a team like Benfica. I can't really argue with the result if I'm being honest. Obviously disappointed being 2-0 up and losing it from there, but Benfica are a quality side. A bit gutted because it also feels like we didn't really learn from Lisbon. But at the start, always wanted to win every game. If he told me at the start of the day, groups, 8 points top, beating Benfica on aggregate, if you like, I'd have bitten your hand off.
Yeah, I know that's the thing. Wilf, Scott mentions it. The same thing happened over in Portugal, albeit they had 10 men. But if you listen to Gerrard's kind of post-match interview, he kind of said a 2-2 is a fair result.
Yeah, I think over the piece 2-2 is a fair result, but I mean, if you're two goals up with 12 minutes to go, you shouldn't be not winning that game. You should be seeing it out. Especially, we should have learned from what happened in Lisbon, because they scored two late goals then. You know, I mean, it's the game management let us down again. I mean, the game 3 weeks ago in Lisbon, Gerrard was getting a bit of criticism for not making substitutions to break the game up. I was screaming for him to bring on subs after 70 minutes because, I mean, we were out on our feet. We looked absolutely knackered.
No, I totally agree, Greg. What did you make of the game overall?
I agree as well. I'm a bit disappointed. Overall, again, as guys were saying, like 2-0 up, we've been so close to the end, you expect to kind of see it out. But I just think with Gerrard, the kind of substitutions and stuff like that, as you say, like crying out 70, 75 minutes just to kind of manage the game and get the subs on at the right kind of moments to see the game out. But at the same time, you'd probably take a draw before the game as well. With the quality of opposition, as Gerrard was saying, it's a Champions League level opposition, really, and the quality kind of showing it. Again, obviously, like, if you've seen Tavernier's interview as well, he was saying kind of defensively could have did better with the header and getting tighter for their second goal. But I think just that kind of quality of play as well, the goals were coming. No,
I think Scott's laughing because I said to him before we started that he looks like Tavernier. But I think you mentioned it.
I told you at the start. I did look like Tavernier, but he's aged me 10 years.
No, but I think you did mention it, Scott. You know, out of possession we were fantastic, but uncharacteristic for us in possession, albeit look, we're playing a fantastic team who, when they press really well, but in possession tonight we were quite poor.
Yeah, I thought a few times we could have been more decisive when breaking with the ball, and the final ball let us down, or the choice in where decision making was just in on the whole poor. But then we saw what we could do when it just clicked into place. So scored two good goals. I mean, the first goal, God knows how it took us 3 attempts to score. Second goal, what a finish by Wilf. And then, you know, you take into account that Ryan Kent had an opportunity. He's cutting on his left, and you think he's just going to hit it, and then the ball just didn't. It almost bobbled. Morelos hit the bar, and it's like, what is happening? On another day, I mean, you need that little bit of luck. Perhaps we had it going 2-0 up. And you get a third goal that kills the game. We should have had a penalty, but then sometimes in the middle of the park we just gave the ball away. They just didn't have that usual cohesion that we have.
Was it a worry actually, Wilf, and I'll take this to you, that we didn't actually have anybody on the bench to come into that kind of centre mid position to maybe help out once, because obviously we were doing a lot of pressing ourselves, and I think you mentioned it as well that we looked pretty knackered come the kind of 70th minute.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying just a few weeks ago that we've got lots and lots of midfield players, but tonight proved that we don't really. I mean, Aribo, we've got to assume's injured because we still don't know why he was out. Jack was injured. Zungu injured as well, so we had nobody to come into midfield. But I would have thought we could have brought somebody on, you know, to freshen the game. I mean, the midfield on the whole played really, really well. I thought they played. They're all playing exceptionally well for the first 70 minutes. Just when the legs started to go, and we were just sitting far too deep. We just couldn't get out. I mean, it wouldn't have been, I don't think, beyond the realms of possibility of bringing on Brandon Barker, just so we've got somebody to throw balls at and say, go and run that into the corner and just get out of it, get out of our half for a couple of minutes. Because it was in the last 15 minutes, it was just we couldn't get the ball out of our own half.
I know I've not heard anybody asking to bring Brandon Barker on for a while, I must admit. But
well,
listen,
either that you bring on Big Cedric Hitton and just throw high balls at him.
I was genuinely surprised that within the 90 minutes we didn't make any substitutions, but we'll come to that in a minute. But if we can go right back to the first goal, Greg, and I'm thinking first attempt, how have we no scored? Second attempt, how have we no scored? And finally, Arfield sticks it in the back of the net.
Oh no, I think Tav will be looking back at that one and no one to see that again. Right enough, but again, the build-up play was great as well. I think it was Morelos. He was brilliant. I thought all night, just his kind of link-up play off the ball and everything. I think it was just his play. It kind of started the move, and again, Barisic's a great cross. But you think Roof's header was brilliant, and then obviously Tavernier. I don't know how he's missing for that kind of close in, hitting the bar for there, but just lucky that Arfield saved the day with that one, and it was a good finish. But again, I think you see the amount of players that was in the box. I think that was the best thing for me as well. Was about 5-6 players in the box for that first goal that were pushing in and really, really determined to get a shot or we've got the goal at the end and stuff like that. So it's good to see so many players attacking the box. Like Arfield willing to run behind the strikers, Kent willing to get in behind as well. And it's just really good to see so many players in the box that can give us that option.
I think your twin, Scott, really was just looking to make his assists up. I think he's fed up scoring.
I think if you're a neutral watching that, you've got to feel sorry for the keeper because it's a hell of a save.
It's a
hell of a save for the keeper. But it's noticeable as well that the first man to pick up the loose ball is the right back. You know, just the way we're playing, it's Tavernier that's in there hitting. You're right, he should have scored. You know, but it's very noticeable that he's the first one in the box for it.
I'm really feeling for Tav, and I don't think it's a comparison to looking like me. I just think one of the first attempts he had at touching the ball today, it went horribly wrong. And then the next time he came near the ball, I think Everton absolutely skinned him. And then I bet he must have been thinking, what kind of a night am I in for? And then I think it's like that is his next touch. He's hit the bar from a yard out, and it's like, is this going to be my night? And then obviously we know what happens from that point.
Right, listen, just before we carry on, can I just say for anybody watching live on YouTube, get your comments in. I'll try and read them out. Get your points to the guys. And just before we carry on as well, we've got William Martin 4469 in the comments, who says we should be seeing it out, but Benfica are a top team, and then contradicting himself by saying, to be fair, it's a fair result. So, I mean, well, how far does it show that we have come, that we've now played Benfica twice, who are a Champions League team? We've got 2 draws against them, and in both games we've been disappointed.
Well, I mean, it shows how we have come just so far. I mean, the fact that we're unbeaten this season in all competitions, having played teams like Benfica, I mean, playing Benfica twice, and as you say, we've been 2 ahead in both games. Both games feel like a defeat. The first leg felt more like a defeat than tonight does, because obviously they equalised a bit earlier in the game tonight. But we've come on exponentially, if you like, from even from when Gerrard first came in, even from last season. Because I mean, Benfica are probably the best team, certainly the best team we played this season. And I'll say Leverkusen are probably slightly better than them, but Gerrard's right. They're a Champions League team. We really should have no right to be taking points off a Champions League team, and that's exactly what they are.
No, listen, absolutely, I 100% agree. And Greg, I suppose really the question is, how has the linesman? I mean, the linesman had a poor game, and I think everybody knows what linesman I'm talking about. But that is one of the clearest penalties. We all joke about, penalty to Rangers. We always seem to get penalties, but I mean, that was a stone waller.
Aye, it's clear as day. It's like, but it's not as if it was any other players blocking him or anything. It's right in his kind of line of vision, so it's as clear as day. Bounced off his hand and the keeper's arms. But I just obviously, having VAR and stuff like that. But you think as obvious as that, they would be able to see the kind of decisions and stuff like that. But then obviously as the tournament progresses and stuff as well, you just want to kind of officiate and be at the kind of high level that they're at. But aye, it's a clear penalty. And again, it probably could affect the game, because if we score that, then the game totally changes again and stuff. So it was crucial at the time.
Was it 2-0, 2-1?
I think it was. I can't remember, because I'd already been on my fourth can of Budweiser, but then I thought it was at 1-0.
Penalty was at 1-0.
It was at 1-0.
Or the non-penalty.
The non-penalty, because I was just going to say, Scott, if we had got that penalty, would have gave them longer to come back, and then they probably would have beat us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be honest, I think if I'm Gerrard, I'm having a word with Hadji and saying, right, okay, you get in you have a jog down there, get in his ear.
It was, but listen, Scott, was obviously the game wears on. We seem to sit deeper and deeper, and you can actually see at some points Gerrard screaming at the players, come on, move, get up, get forward. And then obviously they scored through a Tavon goal, and it was kind of coming, wasn't
it? Yeah, it was. But again, you've touched on it. I mean, if Gerrard is screaming at the players, come on, get up, it's almost up to him. There's only so much words can do. There needs to be like an action, a bit of fresh legs somewhere on the pitch. Again, but where? What do we do? Do we bring on Helander? No, because it's too early in the game. You can't bring on 3 centre-backs, and then it changes our shape completely. It's central midfield where you'd possibly freshen things up, perhaps bring on Hadji, but then I was thinking at this time, actually, take off Roof. I was actually thinking, right before he scored, take him off. He kind of looks done. He's been a bit sloppy with the ball, and then he goes and fires one into the top corner. That really shows what I know. But the only player I probably have brought on was Hadji. But then Hadji's got this tendency to, again, be sloppy with the ball. So you're really crying out for Ryan Jack or Aribo to be that option. I mean, I don't know too much about Zungu yet, so whether you throw him in or not. But then we could you have risked Barjonas? I think he's barely played, but every time I've seen him, he seems fairly competent and fairly tidy. The only thing I think he lacks is probably experience. But throwing a curveball wasn't that foreign to Walter Smith. We've seen Walter Smith throw in Carl Hutton at Old Trafford.
Aye. And can I just also say, we've had a comment from Manny, and I really don't want to butcher your surname, Manny, but I'm going to anyway. It's Manny Ferrari. I don't know how to say that. He says, I'm a Benfica supporter, and that was definitely a penalty. I feel for Rangers, unlucky guys, really. And, listen, after what happened earlier on tonight, another certain team in Scotland getting embarrassed.
Them. That's the aggregate score. I just had to drop that in.
Was there other games on tonight?
Apparently, so I was watching the Arsenal game. But Wilf, we were told a few years ago, Scotland doesn't need a strong Rangers. We can carry on without Rangers, and here we are again helping the coefficient build, because we might joke about coefficients, but depending on what happens this season, and I think a lot of us are confident about what's going to happen this season, but we really need to build that, especially for the 2 Champions League places.
Oh yeah, I mean it's noticeable that Scotland's going up from something like the late 20s up to almost in the top 10 in Europe with the coefficient. I think they're sitting 11th or 12th now, which does get the 2 Champions League qualification places. And if they can get, I think, up to 11th, Scotland will get a straight into the Champions League group stages, not next season, but the season after that. And there's only one reason for that, and it's Rangers. because Celtic are only doing what they've been doing. They've been getting this far in Europe and making an arse of it for the last 3 or 4 years. Nobody else gets anywhere near it. But we've come from the first qualifying round 2 seasons in a row and the second qualifying round this year, and we're beating almost everybody. We're getting out of groups, and it's just incredible what we're doing. I mean, I think I saw a thing the other day. I think Rangers have got the most points of any club, certainly in Britain, to add to the coefficient, which is incredible.
And I don't actually think, Greg, that we should be that surprised, really, because if you look at Gerrard as a player, yeah, he never won the English top league, but he won everything else, and Europe did seem to be his speciality.
Definitely, as well. And I think the biggest thing with Gerrard is it's just his mentality. I think he seems to understand and get what Rangers is all about and their history, not just the history, but it's a way of life to all of us. Do you know what I mean? Everybody who supports Rangers, it's a way of life, and he really understands what it means to the people. So I think he installs it into the players as well. That it's a massive deal to everybody, and if things don't go our way, it really affects people day to day. I know me, if Rangers don't get a result, that's my week ruined. So it's like he really understands it and he really gets it, and I think that's kind of transformed onto the players, and then they've kind of played with right. We need to do this for the fans and the people.
Aye, well, listen, I know exactly what you're saying because my stepson, let's just say, doesn't support Rangers. So the last sort of 4 or 5 years haven't exactly been pleasant. But listen, back on to tonight's game. And Scott, who impressed you from a Rangers point of view?
I'm a massive fan of Kamara. I think he uses the ball really well. Roof just kind of surprises me each game. Morelos worked I think that's the best performance I've seen Morelos this season. He wasn't even getting really that close to scoring. He had one shot hit the bar. But I think Balogun was his best game, and for me, I think I'll probably say he impressed me, but he also scares the bejesus out of me. It seems like he's got that tendency about him. But yeah, I think it kind of epitomised when he got turned a bit in the first half, and then he got back and he made the block right at the end of the first half, and I think that kind of epitomised his performance. And if you look at Goldson and Balogun, I don't think they deserve to see the scoreline and see the conceded 2 goals. I just don't think they deserved that. But then again, Benfica are that good.
Yeah, Benfica are that good, but also towards the end of the game as well, Goldson had me nearly jumping through my living room window when he done that wee turn thing, But Wilf, that was the kind of big question, I think, before the start of the game. Are we going to start Balogun or are we going to start Hollander? And obviously, hindsight's 2020. Hindsight's fantastic, but again, Balogun, who we brought in for did we bring him in for free?
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's been outstanding.
Oh, he's been tremendous. I mean, they all played well tonight. I mean, it wasn't James Tavernier's greatest game in a Rangers shirt. He made a few slack passes and things like that. But I mean, on the whole, you can't really criticise the way the man played. There wasn't really. The whole team played quite well. They just ran out of legs towards the end, I think. But I mean, Balogun was exceptional. I mean, I'd have no issues with any of our centre halves. I mean, and obviously Goldson's a guaranteed starter. I'd have no problem whether it's Balogun in beside him, whether it's Hollander in beside him. When Katic gets fit, whether it's Katic is in beside him. It's just they're all like we've said previously. They all just seem to be able to slot in. You can take one out and just slot another one straight back in again.
Aye, well, listen, just on that point, and Greg, I'll bring this to you. Craig Murray in the live chat on YouTube says, Benfica moved up the gears in the last 20 minutes and we tired. We should have brought on subs. Do you agree?
I think we could have changed it, but like the guys were saying earlier on, I think it was crying out for somebody in the middle, but we know having Jack and Zungo in there and stuff to maybe change it. I think that was the issue, so I think that's probably why he never brought on substitutes. But I think I can understand why we were kind of sitting deep, but I think if we kept going, like obviously Morelos hit the bar, I think, just before they scored again. So I think if we kept going, we could have scored again. So I didn't really understand kind of sitting back because I think the way we were going, we were capable of scoring. So I think maybe Benfica are a quality team, but also showing a bit more respect as well. We showed them a bit too much respect, I think, to them, because I think if we kept attacking, we could have definitely got another goal. But I think that's maybe why I never brought on a sub, is because there was nobody really in the middle, and that's where they were really needing.
That's a fair point. But Scott, listen, look, 2-2, 3-3, 2-2, 8 points. I think that's us 5 points, us and Benfica 5 points ahead of Standard and Lech Poznan. So are you still confident though, although it's a wee bit deflating seeing as we were 2-0 up and they get pegged back? Are you still confident of us qualifying for this group?
Massive. I actually think today was more about who's going to win the group. I think, if we win our last 2 games, we're going to win the group. That's straightforward. I actually think, and maybe hold me to this in a couple of weeks, I don't think we have to get another point in the group to qualify. I see Benfica beating Poznan and Standard, and that'll see us through. So, unless I've made an absolute brain fart there.
That's the beauty of doing stuff live.
Yeah. I'm confident we'll go through, remain unbeaten. That's the task. Never like going into a game thinking a draw will do, because you always, more often than not, end up getting beat. But we've got the quality to beat Standard at home. We've got the quality to get a draw away at Poznan. Poland's never an easy place to go. I'm just gutted that we probably won't be there.
I take it, Wilf, you're in agreement with that, because I've never even, like I think you said it on the preview pod, that you've never even bet against Rangers losing a goal, never mind losing a game.
No, I hate. I mean, I said it on the preview pod as well. I thought Benfica might score, but I still predicted 2-0 because I don't ever like saying Rangers will lose a goal. But yeah, I think we can go on and not just qualify, but win the group. I mean, 2 wins and we've won the group, because we're ahead of Benfica on the head-to-head because we scored 3 goals in Lisbon and they only got 2 in Glasgow. So we would win the group. The way it stands, it's quite simple. 2 wins and we've won the group. And Rangers have never won a 4-team European group, playing everybody home and away. And there's also a massive, massive financial difference between winning the group and finishing second, which, because we don't have crowds in, has got to benefit us. So we really need to go, keep the momentum going, win the group, get as much money out of it as we can, and then see where it takes us.
Is that how the Europa League works, Wilf? Is it not goal difference that determines who finishes top?
No, that's head-to-head first. Then
is it definitely head-to-head? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, Greg, give me a man of the match for tonight. Then your man of the match.
I would go with Morelos. I think this is the best he's been since this season in the Rangers jersey. I think just there's clear signs that come back to his best. I know you just had the one chance to score, but just his all-round general play, again off the ball, holding up the ball, link-up play, creating runs for Kent and Roof to get in behind in the half-field and stuff like that. So I would go with Morelos. I think he was brilliant tonight.
Anyone disagree with that?
I think I'll probably go.
See, I was actually thinking, and actually I probably should have mentioned it just before we finish up. Scott, Ryan Kent, I thought in the first half was absolutely outstanding. He was all over the pitch. He was winning tackles. He was making breaks. I thought in the second half, though, he looked a bit leggy, as if he'd kind of ran out of steam.
Yeah, agree completely. He would have been one of the guys that I'd be looking to take off, but even when he's looking leggy, he's still fast and he still practices and he still does all the donkey work.
Yeah.
And actually, you mentioned his name. It's probably harsh that, in terms of man of the match, of kind of just almost disregarded. It's no disrespect or intention to do that. Roof's goal was just brilliant, and he was unlucky not to score his header from a world-class save from the keeper. So. I thought he battled just as hard as Morelos. For a little guy, he's got a great leap and great strength. So yeah, we'll give it to him.
Just very quickly going to the chat, and we're old pal Willie Spateston Bear fairly happy with the draw in the end. Benfica are a top class team who, by all accounts, should be top of this group easily with the money they have spent. And actually, I mean, I keep saying we're going to finish up, but Wilf, I'll come to you. I think we all have to remember as well, look, this Rangers team was put together European-wise on a shoestring budget, Scottish-wise maybe not so, but that Benfica team costs a lot of money. And although, listen, money doesn't always buy you success in football, but I think we all have to kind of take a wee step back, because there'll be a lot of Rangers fans tonight who'll be really disappointed, a bit like ourselves, but we really have to take a step back and go, that is a top-class Benfica team that didn't cost, a pint of lager and a packet of crisps.
Oh no, it's whatever way you look at it, it's a tremendous result. I mean, as Steven Gerrard said after the game, we shouldn't be playing Benfica because they should be in the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are a Champions League. They are a champ. I've got no idea how they managed to mess up qualifying, because they're different class. And I know there's quite a few players out tonight, but I mean, if you play for a club like Benfica, you're a good player. They're a good side. They're well coached. I mean, that coach of theirs has won stuff all over the place. He's won Copa Libertadores. I think he's won the title in Portugal. He's won things all over the place. So he knows what he's doing. The players are all good players. We're only all disappointed because we were 2 goals up.
Mm-hmm.
And we got pegged back to 2-2. But no, we should be very, very proud of the performance, proud of the team, the way they played tonight.
Just very, very quickly then, before we go, Greg, Sunday, there won't be a preview show for the Falkirk game because nobody wants to do it because they're all snobs. But no, there'll be no preview.
I've done hundreds of research on Falkirk. I even know where the place
is. It's somewhere on the A74. No, it's not.
There's 2 big horses outside it.
But Greg, look, Falkirk on Sunday, I'm imagining a lot of rotation.
Oh, definitely. I think he'll probably change nearly the whole starting 11, I would say. Like McLaughlin stuff will be in goals night. There's a good chance to start Itten and Defoe, and even though saying like Burjonis and stuff like that, and Zungu if he's fit. So just a totally whole rotation as well. I think just to try and get the players who've not played as much to get some game time and kind of progress for there. I think it should be another comfortable win, I think, but I think it'll be a good few changes anyway.
And Scott, listen, just finishing with you before I come to Wilf for his prediction, because I know how much he loves predictions. How this season for us, and this could be a whole podcast on its own, but this season for us, how important are the cups?
Every trophy. I want to win every trophy, and I think once you get that feeling of winning a trophy, particularly as a player, it acts as like a catalyst to go after the next one and the next one and the next one. So whether it's the Veolia Cup at the start of the season or the next one's the League Cup, the league will come, the Scottish Cup will come, and then I can't remember the dates, but hopefully we're in Gdansk as well.
And listen, damn you, David Thomas, in the live chat, because I was just about to finish and he's just put a fantastic point in, Wilf. Both teams could have used supporters in the stadium, even Benfica. The pressure makes everyone better. I think we've actually just become so used to now no supporters in the stadium. But how much better tonight would that game have been with you, Greg, Scott up there shouting your head off?
I think had the game gone the way it went for the first 70 minutes and Ibrox was full, we wouldn't have thrown that away.
Mm.
I honestly believe that the fans would have seen them through. I mean, I turned to my missus when we scored the first goal. I says, if we were in Ibrox now, the place would be absolutely rocking. Mm-hmm. And it would have been. I mean, it would have been something that you could tell your kids and your grandkids about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? As it is, it was just my living room that was rocking. And that was only me.
I don't want to know what you do during Rangers games, well. But listen, gents, we'll leave it there.
Well, I'll tell you, Martin, sorry, before we go, when my daughter's here, she tends to try and video my goal celebrations. I'm sending me off on Snapchat.
I do know something. My mum did that once, and that's when I realised just how fat I actually am. But listen, gents, we shall leave it there. Wilf, Greg, Scott, thank you very, very much. Thank you to everybody watching live. Thank you to everybody watching on YouTube. Once it goes out, streamed, downloading. We're a brand new channel. We're trying our best. We're trying to get content out there for you. So thank you so much for all the support so far. On Sunday, we shall have the reaction to the Falkirk game, and I have just noticed that the title says live reaction, Rangers 1, Benfica 0, so I got that wrong. But anyways, thank you to everybody watching. Thank you to the guys who took part, and we shall speak to you soon. Thank you.